Hello and welcome to Kashmir Now. I'm your host Lipakshi. Let's start with the headlines from this week's episode. Authorities continue their discriminatory attitude towards illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan. Kashmiri activists call for international intervention amid deteriorating human rights situation in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Authorities step up efforts to promote sports culture in the Kashmir Valley. Palliative care centre set up in Gandhinagar area of Jammu. And later in a section of Incredible India, we'll take you to witness the beauty of Loktak Lake in Manipur. Pakistan has illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan for over 7 decades and hasn't treated the residents of this region at par with the people of Pakistani provinces. The Pakistani government and the GB administration, which is by and large an installed entity, have paid no heed to the needs and desires of these people. Even when there are natural disasters, the government doesn't care. The authorities didn't provide any relief and didn't relocate people even when flash floods wreaked devastation in the region recently.
People in the illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan are compelled to live in tents as a large part of the region, including their homes, have been submerged by flash floods. The government, which the natives accuse of being discriminatory towards them, hasn't offered any assistance thus far. The suffering continues to grow. Numerous requests for assistance have been made, but that hasn't proved enough to wake authorities from their deep slumber. The victims lament that even United Nations appeals for aid have been ignored by the local authorities.
जेबी की हुकूमत हो या मरकज़ी और बाकी सूबाई हुकूमतें हो, उन्होंने अब तक वो कारकर्दगी नहीं दिखाई जो एक हुकूमत करने के काम होते हैं, और उनका जो ताउन है अवाम के साथ, मुतासरीन के साथ, वो एक क़तरे के बराबर भी नहीं है। खुद बैनुल-अक़वामी इदारों ने भी पाकिस्तान के मरकज़ी हुकूमत और सूबाई हुकूमतों की कारकर्दगी पर बहुत ज़्यादा सवालिया निशान सवालात उठाए हैं।
It's not the first time that floods have hit the region. A similar situation arises almost every year, but even then, the authorities have made no learning. Gilgit residents require financial assistance to reconstruct their homes. Some observers opine that the federal government and the Gilgit-Baltistan administration should be working together to meet the needs of the people. Others say that isn't happening ever. The residents of the area are also asking the government to waive their area's utilities and electricity bills.
जुलाई में बारिश शुरू हुई है और हमारे नेशनल डिज़ास्टर मैनेजमेंट अथॉरिटी ने 17 अगस्त को एक टेंडर दिया फैमिली टेंट्स के लिए, और उसमें भी मज़ीद फिर 10-15 दिन ज़ाया हो गए और अब तक वो लोगों को टेंट तक नहीं पहुंचा सके। तो गिलगित बल्तिस्तान का तो ये मसला है कि यहाँ के लोगों को तो दोबारा घर तामीर करने के लिए पैसे की ज़रूरत है। यहाँ का मौसम ऐसा नहीं है कि लोग टेंट में वक़्त गुजारे, और बड़े बड़े ख़ानदान एक छोटे से टेंट में गुजारा भी नहीं कर सकते।
Nearly 33 million people have been impacted by the worst flooding and incessant torrential rains Pakistan has witnessed in decades. The authorities sprang into action the moment their subjects of interest suffered. Although inadequate, the people in other parts of the country have received one or the other form of support. However, this region, which has endured neglect and discrimination for 7 decades, continues to suffer similar treatment even today.
And let's talk about Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, which remained the hot topic of discussion during the 51st session of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva. Political activists informed the UN and its member countries about the issues the people of POK have been facing under Pakistan's illegal occupation. Recently, Islamabad made an attempt to modify the 1974 interim constitution of POK, which resulted in massive anti-Pakistan protest. A report.
Since its illegal occupation in 1947, Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is governed under the so-called Azad Kashmir Interim Constitution Act passed in 1974. Even though the region has a president, prime minister and a council, the governing structure is powerless and dependent on the Pakistani establishment for the smallest issues. Pakistan-occupied Kashmir also has its own Supreme Court and High Court, but all these remain powerless in front of the Kashmir Council, headed by the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Recently, Pakistan made its 24th attempt to introduce the Constitutional Amendment Bill to the interim constitution of POK, but failed to pass due to massive opposition and protests by the locals. Kashmiri intellectuals raised the issue at the United Nations.
I would like to draw the Council's attention to Pakistan's repeated attempts to further change the already seriously dented status of Jammu and Kashmir to Islamabad's periodic introduction of proposals to amend the farcical 1974 interim constitution of that part of Jammu and Kashmir that it illegally occupies. The so-called constitution, among other things, spells out the contours of the relationship between the Pakistani state and Pakistan-administered Jammu and Kashmir, and brings to mind images of subjugation and occupation. The people of Pakistan-administered Jammu and Kashmir have been denied their basic fundamental human rights and face severe brutalities by Pakistani security agencies on a daily basis.
The people in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir are angry with Pakistan's attempts to forcefully make the region its 5th province. They are already victims of Pakistan's discrimination and exploitation of natural resources for over 7 decades. Although Pakistan has stepped back with its demand to amend the interim constitution, it continues to alter the status of the illegally occupied region.
Despite a harsh crackdown by Pakistani security agencies, large protests were witnessed in the region last month against the proposed 15th amendment to this so-called constitution. This amendment represented the 24th Pakistani attempt to determine the constitutional status of this forcibly held part of Jammu and Kashmir. While the huge protest eventually resulted in the withdrawal of the proposed amendment, Pakistan's repeated attempts to alter the status of territory that it holds illegally renders the prospects of a fair and respectable solution to the issue of Jammu and Kashmir extremely murky and complicated.
The people in POK and Gilgit-Baltistan not only face issues like poverty, malnutrition and unemployment, but they have no opportunities to grow due to a lack of basic infrastructure, good education and health care. There is a scarcity of drinking water in many areas as natural water reserves are used for commercial projects like hydropower projects. The people of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan are now demanding an end to Pakistan's illegal occupation.
And the Jammu and Kashmir government has been making continuous efforts to promote sports culture in the valley. Moving on the same path, the Jammu and Kashmir police organised a Pedal for Peace cycle race with the aim to promote cycling and healthy habits in the territory. Many young children participated in the race with full enthusiasm. Have a look. In order to inculcate sporting practices among the youth and promote sports culture in the valley, the Jammu and Kashmir police organised a Peace for Pedal cycle race in Srinagar. The race was flagged off by Director General of Police Dilbagh Singh on the police golf course in Srinagar. Titled Pedal for Peace, the main objective behind organising the event was to encourage youngsters in the valley to channel their energy in a positive direction by indulging in sports and other fitness activities.
हम अपना और अवाम और नौजवान साथी बच्चे बच्चियां सबको इसके साथ जोड़ना चाहते हैं। हम सब अमन के लिए एक दूसरे को पार्टनर बना के चलना चाहते हैं। मुझे खुशी है कि बच्चों की और हर एज ग्रुप की पार्टिसिपेशन पहले के मुकाबले में इसमें बढ़ी है। बच्चों को कितनी ज्यादा जरूरत है इतनी इवेंट की, आप इससे अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं कि थोड़े ही दिनों में जो इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज करने के बाद इतनी बड़ी तादाद में बच्चों की पार्टिसिपेशन हुई। मुझे लगता है कि बच्चों की एनर्जी को पॉजिटिव दिशा में चैनलाइज करने से ड्रग्स की और जो बाकी वबा जो इस तरह की आजकल चल रही है उससे बच्चों को दूर रखने में मदद मिलती है और बच्चों को और भी उत्साह मिलता है, एनकरेजमेंट मिलती है कि वो और भी फील्ड्स में आगे बेहतर परफॉर्मेंस कर सकें।
Around 700 to 1,000 people participated in the event. Various safety measures including first aid, ambulances along with refreshments were arranged for the participants by the police force. For the last 2 years, youth in the valley were not able to get proper opportunities to participate in such activities due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The participants of the cycle race were looking very excited and also demanded that more such events should be organized in the future.
बहुत ही बढ़िया लग रहा है कि इस इवेंट में शमूलियत करना, पार्टिसिपेट करना और इसकी अहमियत यही है कि आप ड्रग्स फ्री रहें। आप जो भी ड्रग्स कर रहे हैं ना वो उनके लिए बेहतर है कि वो इस फील्ड में आए, उनका फिटनेस, उनका मेंटल सब कुछ बढ़िया रहेगा और वो अपने स्टेट यूटी का, अपने मुल्क का नाम रोशन कर सकते हैं अगर वो ऐसे इवेंट्स में आएंगे। बहुत बढ़िया होते हैं सेहत के लिए क्योंकि इंसान इस चीज़ से बीमार नहीं हो सकता और वो डिप्रेशन का शिकार नहीं होता। अगर वो घर में रहता है तो फिर उसको मेंटल प्रॉब्लम होती है कि फिर वो सोच कर गेम्स फोन। तो फिर अगर ऐसे इवेंट्स हर साल होंगे, हर मंथ होंगे तो फिर यूथ बहुत पार्टिसिपेट करेगा ऐसे इवेंट्स में और वो बचाएगा उस।
मेरा ये पहली बार था, बहुत एंजॉय हुआ। लाइक द मॉर्निंग टाइम बहुत अच्छा व्यू था एंड द इम्पोर्टेंस इज टू टेल पीपल अबाउट द हेल्थ कि हाउ मच यू शुड कीप योर सेल्फ फिट बिकॉज इट्स अ रियल इम्पोर्टेंट। हेल्थ इज वेल्थ बिकॉज आप हेल्थ में, आपके पास जितना भी पैसा है आपके पास हेल्थ नहीं है, आप कुछ नहीं है। सो आई गेस इट्स अ ग्रेट इवेंट।
Sports sector in Jammu and Kashmir is witnessing rapid development. $200 crore package has been sanctioned for sports sector in the valley. Lieutenant Governor recently inaugurated sports infrastructure projects worth Rs 18.10 crore. 4,500 youth clubs have also been established to empower the youth in Jammu and Kashmir. The government establishing modern facilities and a sports culture even in the most far-flung areas of the territory for the talented youth.
यहाँ आप जब देख रहे हैं कितने सारे बच्चे आ गए, किस एज ग्रुप में आ गए, ये तो एक एंथुसियाज्म में है कि स्पोर्ट्स की तरह लोग आ रहे हैं, स्पोर्ट्स के लोग जा रहे हैं। जो ये बेस्ट है इवेंट है और ये हमेशा होना चाहिए। इवन साल में तो एक बार होता है कि कम से कम 2-3 बार होना चाहिए ऐसा। कि लोग देखते हैं, हम भी देखते हैं अपने जूनियर्स, अपने सीनियर्स या हमारे मिड ग्रुप एज के ग्रुप जो पार्टिसिपेट इसमें करते हैं। बहुत अच्छा है, आइंदा भी होना चाहिए, ऐसा आइंदा भी होना चाहिए। ये सबसे अच्छा इवेंट है। अगर ऐसा ऐसा और भी कोई इनिशिएटिव प्राइवेट, जैसे ये तो पुलिस ने भी किया है, अगर कोई प्राइवेटली भी करे, अच्छा है, काफी अच्छा है। लोग काफी अच्छा इससे एनर्जेटिक रहते हैं। लोग कम से कम चाहे कितने सारे डिप्रेशन में हो, कुछ हो, वो इसमें शिफ्ट हो जाते हैं, ऑटोमेटिकली अच्छे माहौल में शिफ्ट हो जाते हैं उनका माइंड।
The response from energetic and sports-loving people from both boys and girls towards the event was excellent. Getting appreciation certificates for the event helped in boosting their morale. Events like these help people to show their talent at the national as well as international level and keep them away from illegal activities.
And Jammu and Kashmir administration is making consistent efforts to strengthen the health infrastructure in the territory. Moving along the same lines, the authorities in the territory have set up a palliative care centre in the Gandhinagar area of Jammu to provide proper palliative care to its citizens. Have a look.
Jammu and Kashmir is on a path to give a fillip to its health centre. Several initiatives are being taken by the administration to ensure accessible, affordable, quality health facilities for all. On the same note, state-of-art palliative care ward has been set up, which will boost the healthcare facilities in the nearby districts. "20 doctors and 20 nurses from all district hospitals of Jammu division have been trained under this program. This program has been initiated by AIIMS, New Delhi in association with the Indian Association of Palliative Care. The staff is being trained for 1 year by APHN, Asian Pacific Palliative and Hospice Care Network Singapore in collaboration with the Palliative Care Department of AIIMS, New Delhi and Lyon, UK.
पैलेटिव केयर जो है ये सभी टर्मिनली इल डिजीजेज में है और पेन जो है इसका एक एस्पेक्ट है। मतलब ये पैलेटिव केयर जो है ये एंड स्टेज रिनल डिजीजेज में भी है, डिमेंशिया में भी है, ब्रेन की डिजीजेज में भी है, कैंसर्स में भी है, सभी में एंड स्टेजेस में। और ये बच्चों से लेकर बूढ़ों तो बुजुर्गों तक किसी को भी हो सकता है। एम्स वालों ने चूज़ किया था पैलेटिव केयर के लिए और ये पैलेटिव केयर का फर्स्ट सेंटर बना था JNK में, जिसमें हमारी 1 साल की ट्रेनिंग हुई थी अंडर डॉक्टर सुषमा भटनागर, हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट एम्स। तो वो जब सब सारी प्रक्रियाएं चलती रहीं और जैसे क्योंकि एक प्रोग्राम है NPPC, दैट इज कॉल्ड नेशनल प्रोग्राम फॉर पैलेटिव केयर, ये गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का लॉन्च किया हुआ प्रोग्राम है पैलेटिव केयर, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को भी पता चला कि पैलेटिव केयर की जो है ज़रूरत बहुत ज़्यादा है आने वाले टाइम में।
All wards are well equipped with modern healthcare facilities to provide modern healthcare services regarding palliative care. Ten-bedded wards were inaugurated in all the 20 district hospitals of JNK and a physical inauguration of state-of-art palliative care ward at Government Hospital Gandhinagar, Jammu. Gandhinagar is the only district hospital in India to have a full-fledged pain and palliative care unit providing 24/7 services. Trained doctors have to come and stay in this centre for 15 days, which will include practical training and exam.
मॉडर्नाइजेशन का टाइम चल रहा है, जो सेडेंट्री लाइफस्टाइल बढ़ गया है, जहाँ जिस तरीके से परसेंटेज हर आदमी में पेन का रेजिस्टेंस कम हो गया है, मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ एनी रीजंस, और कैंसर की सहूलियत के कारण इन्वेस्टिगेशंस अच्छी हो गई हैं, ट्रीटमेंट पार्ट अच्छा हो गया। और ये जम्मू का जो गांधीनगर हॉस्पिटल है, इसमें ये इनिशियली ये सेंटर डेवलप किया गया। यहाँ पर पेन मैनेजमेंट क्लिनिक स्टार्ट हुआ इनिशियली, और उसको विद द पैसेज ऑफ विद इन 2 years एक पूरा पैलिएटिव पेन पैलिएटिव एंड साथ में हमने बुजुर्गों के लिए जेरेट्रिक भी इसको एक डेडिकेटेड वार्ड क्रिएट किया।
Many initiatives have been taken by the J&K government for its healthcare sector. Rupees 7177 crore have been invested in J&K's health sector. 500-bedded pediatric hospital have been set up in the Bemina region of Srinagar. 200-bedded maternity hospital is set up in Gandhinagar in Jammu. Local residents are happy with the development that is taking place in the medical sector and the role which is being played by the private players in strengthening the healthcare ecosystem of the territory.
पेशेंट को बड़ा अच्छी तरह देखते हैं। नया सेंटर बना है, डॉक्टर साहब भी बड़ा तवज्जो देते हैं पेशेंट की। और बहनें जो सिस्टरें लगी हैं ये भी बड़ा अच्छा तजुर्बा करती हैं पेशेंट के साथ। अच्छा ट्रीटमेंट चल रहा है। बाहर भी गया था मैं, लेकिन इधर भी ये नया सेंटर बना, मैं पहली बार इधर आया हूँ। ये पेशेंट है कि बड़ा अच्छा सिस्टम है।
It is through such initiatives that the medical infrastructure of Jammu and Kashmir is improving day by day and citizens are able to avail the best of facilities, that too at their nearest.
Moving on, amid COVID-19, many city dwellers realizing that they may be restricted to one place for a relatively prolonged period of time are flocking to offbeat destinations to self-isolate around nature. So today in our section of Incredible India, we take you to Loktak Lake in Manipur, which is being thronged by a number of tourists who want to spend their time in the serenity of nature. Take a look.
Leaving behind the noise of the city, tourists are flocking Manipur's Loktak Lake to surround themselves with the serenity of nature. Located near Moirang in the Bishnupur district of Manipur, Loktak is regarded as the largest freshwater lake in the northeastern region of India. Spread over an area of 286 square kilometers, the lake has earned the laurel of being the wetland of international importance under the Ramsar Convention. The iconic lake is famous for its circular floating swarms, also called pumris in the local language for catching fish. Resembling like miniature islands, they are found in various forms floating in the lake, covering a substantial part of its area. This lake is considered one of the best tourist attractions in the state.
The best USP of the state, or unique selling proposition, is Loktak. Whenever a tourist, a visitor come in the state, the first destination they have chosen is Loktak. So I took Loktak as serious as what so many important. Why? Because it will help to boost the tourism sector in the state.
Small structures like huts have been built up on the Mandha island for the staying purpose. Tourists can stay as long as they want, ranging from days to months. Here they get to enjoy a complete rural lifestyle. They cook themselves, spend their time playing karaoke or do swimming in the crystal clear waters of the lake. A boating facility has also been introduced by the Loktak Lake Tourism Development Society for tourists, enabling them to enjoy the nature by close.
It's excellent experience. As I know Loktak about so many sorts. Loktak is one of the world's biggest. I think is one of the biggest floating freshwater lake, and also in the northeast. So I get an opportunity to visit this Loktak lake once, so I come here. Current view, it is excellent in terms of environment and its cleanness, and everything is excellent. We are come here for the Loktak lake is for freshness, for the natural beauty. So it is more than sufficient to having the natural and real beauty.
This is the fresh water, and this is the only fresh water in the northeast, and everything is fresh. That's why why not people like to visit. And this is a valley. And here is so many God give that, the natural things. And you know, likewise, Shanghai, pumpkin, whatever, and fishing. And there's people living here so happily.
Famously known as the Alexandria of Manipur, Loktak is considered as the lifeline of the state due to its importance in socio-economic and cultural life. Besides providing drinking water to the entire region, it also serves as a source of income for many fishermen who largely depend on it. And now, by developing island resort at Mandha, more opportunities are being generated for the local youth of Thanga, a tiny village located around the buffer area of the famous Loktak Lake.
When I sit on top of the Fumdi, it is like very unique. Like it will be floating on top of the water, and then like we can see like fishermen. You know, like they all depend on the livelihood and stuffs there in the like with the fishes, and like people there are very loving each other. Like we don't find this type of artificial stuffs. We only find like original stuffs there in Loktak. I see like very pleasing when I see there like people over there.
Loktak is like an entire ecosystem in itself, with a rich varied collection of flora and fauna. It is home to 233 species of aquatic plants, more than 100 species of birds and 425 species of animals, including the Indian python and sambar. The major attraction in the lake is Kebul Lamchao National Park, located in its southwestern part, and it is the only floating national park in the world. It is also home to the endangered Manipuri brow-antler deer Sangai. Presently, the lake is under the supervision of the Loktak Development Authority, which is trying its best to develop and preserve the lake.
Well, that's all we have for you in this week's episode. Till we see you next week, it's goodbye from the entire production team.